I'm Brendan here from Games, Brains and a Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And it's the first of our 2 Christmas track by tracks for across this month of December, but our first one. And we'll go into a favourite album of ours, released last year. It's Majestica's A Christmas Carol. However, this is the extended version. Last year, the symphonic power metal band Majestica released A Christmas Carol. This year, they released A Christmas Carol extended version. And what that means is 2 new tracks and the removal of the instrumental reprise / finale that existed at the end. I don't know a lot of details actually about this, but I presume these 2 tracks were originally there, but like obviously originally cut out, like decided not to use, like B-sides almost.
Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest with you. I'm just guessing, like, you know, I kind of assumed that because they were planning to tour it, that maybe they needed another couple tracks, because like otherwise, I don't know, it'd just be, I mean, it wouldn't have been bad, it would have been just a band jamming out traditional hymns like at the end of the gig, you know what I mean? But I don't know, I thought maybe like there might be you know, because we bring that out on tour, we need like a good hour plus of music, so we're a couple of songs short. But yeah, I don't, who knows, man, could be cutting room stuff, could be things they held back, could have another 20 songs, man, because obviously what we're all hoping for is that they'll just release a new extended version every year now for the rest of eternity. Just keep giving us another couple of songs.
Or just start, instead, you know, you've done A Christmas Carol, do some of the other stories as well. Do things like Holiday in Handcuffs and things like that.
Gremlins.
Movies. Gremlins, there you
Die
go.
Hard.
Yeah, amazing shit. But it is also coincided with a vinyl release as well. So you can get this album on vinyl now apparently. As well, when it turns up.
Yeah, apparently. Pre-ordered. It's been a month.
Yeah, we're both waiting on that. Right. So last year, if you remember, if you did watch it, we did actually review this album, but it was an album review, not a track by track. And because this is the extended version, that's why we decided to do that. Plus, it's a great album. I don't know about Brendan, but this is something I've been listening to pretty much throughout the year every so often. It was the height of summer, and I was like, oh, let me play it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been in, I haven't like removed it, so you know, the odd song will come on in a shuffle. And yeah, happy to leave it playing. I haven't like sorted it out and played the whole album in full like at any point up until, you know, 3-4 weeks ago when you know, it kind of made its way back up to top of the playlist.
It is that time. All right, we kick off with the track A Christmas Carol. This is a simple, bombastic, classical intro that sets up the festive feel, but for me, also makes it quite apparent that you're going to listen to something that almost is stage show-like.
Yeah, and obviously being part of the original one, so not too many surprises or anything like that, you know, and it just sets the album up nicely, man. It's a perfect little introduction, nice little, well, big blast really of Christmas spirit. Just get, yeah, I don't know, just get you in the mood really, you know, sort of settle in and you go like, okay, I'm in, let's do it.
Yep. A Christmas Story. For me, the opening kick of the drums, the fire riffs, this is power metal gold, but so very Christmassy. Then the vocals come in and it's even stronger. I like the energy of this one, but it really hits with the chorus. Very catchy. However, what makes this track is the epic transition into Oh Holy Night. Simply phenomenal, and it's got a banging guitar solo too.
Yeah, it's probably the first, well, I mean, because I remember when I first listened to this album, so obviously I would have, because it's a story, you know, it's not the sort of album on shuffle.
Yeah,
you know, especially the first time around. Now I'm not so bothered about it, but the first time around it was like, oh, you've got to listen to it end to end. So, and while I enjoy the intro, I do remember this sort of song being the, like, whether you're gonna love it or not, do you know what I mean? Like, this is where it was, and like not taking too long for me to be like 100% sort of sold on it. Yeah, I think it's a cracking song. I really do. It's just got everything, man. It's catchy. It's got vocals, the vocal kind of pitches as well, are really, really high and very power. Drums are great, guitars are great. I love all the little kind of, not just your Holy Night bit, but just like the way like little familiar melodies pop in and out of songs.
Yep.
You know, yeah, just think it's fantastic. Really do. Great one. It's a great example of what they do.
Yes, that literally nice. That comes straight away. Such a bombastic and heavy hitter. Then we get a new track. Now we get Glory of Christmas. It took me, right, listening to this album, it took me a little while to adjust to this one, knowing the original track list so well. So suddenly when this new music that I hadn't heard before came in, it was like, oh, okay. But I actually really do like this one. And I think you can tell it was meant to be in the album. The melody and the guitars create a catchy sound while having a thumping beat. I think the harmonizing of the vocals is what's particularly strong here.
Yeah, I think I'm quite similar to you on this one in that I do like it a lot, but it didn't get me instantly. I don't know if that was just because I
Took
was
a couple of times. Yeah.
broken and biased because of like, you know, like you said, knowing the album so well, and then it's almost like hanging out with your friends and then this strangers popped along and I'm not sure if I like them or not, you know. But it did grow on me. It did grow on me, you know, and I would now you know, I wouldn't skip it. I listen to it now happily as part of the album. It's been accepted. It's now one of the group. You know, it can stay, it can hang out. Love the gang kind of vocals, the choir like sort of vocals, which is used very, very heavily as like the chorus really of it.
Yeah.
Great solo. Yeah, just like I said, not an instant grabber, but now feels like it definitely belonged on the album.
Yeah, it's that, isn't it? It's repeated listens just makes it go, okay, it fits now. It fits nicely. Ghost of Marley. This one showcases the horror of the ghostly arrival nicely. It's got dark and chilling vibes, but the lyrical storytelling here is stunning. I love the vocal battle, the two voices that share the stage brilliantly, the powerful chants really adding the oomph. Good because rhythmically, this is a bit unspectacular aside from a kick-ass drum beat.
It's probably, I don't know if it was my favorite, but it's definitely one of my 2 or 3 favorites on the album. Like first time around, and like it still is now, you know. I think I even wrote what a Christmas cracker of a song this is.
There it is. There's your first pun.
I love the little moments in it, man, like the chimes, sort of bells or keys, probably with a chimes tone on it, playing the God Rest You Merry Gentlemen bit at the beginning, and then combined in with the guitars. I love the flow of the song. I think the way, like you said, the back and forth between the vocals is really, really cool. I just have moments like that. Like every time I listen to this song, I just have like little moments pop into my head. And like even now, all I can hear is like going, "This is Jacob Marley." You know, I love that. It's just got a lot of good. I also really like the back and forth between the between the guitars and the bass as well, which is quite a cool little touch. So yeah, really, really love it. I think thing mostly for me on it is just the way the song flows. It's got this like really, really kind of pacey flow. Very, like you said, big on the story sort of aspect on it. Yeah, probably definitely one of my favorites on the album.
Well, Brennan's given away one of his top 3. We'll just see if it ends up in mine. Ghost of Christmas Past. Now, this is one of my favorite tracks in the entire album. The carefree melody that has a jig-like quality, the use of the Jingle Bells tune, the pace, the vocals, the verses, that chorus, a stunner that always puts a smile on my face. This is the track I'd play, folks, if they needed to hear one song to understand what this album and Majestica are about. The melody drop to where he sings and about Scrooge and Belle is tear-jerking stuff.
It's another great one.
Yeah,
the most sort of sing-along one, I think, like in our household. You know,
that chorus, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that "Come and Take My Road" bit, man.
Yeah.
It's just insane. It's really, really good. And it's like, it's not good in terms of like, oh, this is a good Christmas song. This is just like a phenomenal song, as many of these songs are. That's why they've kind of lasted over like a year or so. It's not a gimmick.
Yeah.
You know, it's got more to it than that. But the pre-chorus on this song is the thing that kind of kills it for me, which is that whole "Come and Take My Robe." You know, the flow of the song up to that, and that is completely off tempo to everything else that happens. And it kind of comes in like that, give you a breather, and then goes bang straight into the chorus. And I just think it's phenomenal songwriting. Flow of the verses, the use of the traditional melody again, another brilliant solo that ends in the "Wish You a Merry Christmas" melody. You know, it just comes in out of nowhere, and then it has that slower, darker verse at the end.
Yeah,
and it's just like, yeah, this is good shit, man. Good shit.
The Joy of Christmas. This is a somber ballad that is downright beautiful. Powerful melody, epic vocals. It's very special, but the midpoint change up really makes it a stunner for me. The energetic keyboard melody and orchestrated "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" tune is what I particularly love about it.
Yeah, I think it's a lovely song, like darker, obviously, but it is lovely, and it's lovely. It's well sung and well played and all that sort of stuff. I do prefer the quicker songs overall from a personal taste perspective. But that's nothing to do with like the quality of the song. You know, it's pretty damn beautiful, to be honest. Chorus is big, it feels grand. You know, and I also really enjoy the bit at the end. Like that's the kind of payoff you get at the end of the song, where it picks up the speed and, you know, adds a few more sort of layers in, and, you know, and hits some stupidly ridiculous vocal levels. You know, those ones that you don't want to accidentally get caught out singing in the car. Them ones.
Yeah, you're singing along and you think you sound like Tommy, but you sound nothing like him. No. Ghost of Christmas Present. I'll admit I've given the game away here again. Probably my favorite track on the entire album. The upbeat start, those riffs and drums that signal a change in direction, and the following heavy pace. This is simply wonderful and such a grand showcase of voices. This is a track that puts a pep in the step, but when it delivers those high notes, it's downright chilling. The section where the characters make jokes about Scrooge in time to the rhythm, and the guitar solo that follows is banging.
Yeah, another fantastic song, to be honest with you. For me, not quite at the same level as one or two of my favorites on it, but we're talking like fucking, you know, like almost negligible levels of difference between the quality of songs on this album. I like the darker sort of thumb to it. You know, it's got the big gang vocal chorus, traditional melodies, solo. I like once it settles, but it's very stuttery and it's the beginning of it. It's one of the few parts on the album that I thought where the solo comes in, it doesn't actually transition in well from the song, and it's kind of like and then it settles and it's like, okay, that's cool, just a moment. You know, it's like he dropped his pick or something like that. Big orchestral section after the solo is absolutely fantastic. So again, I absolutely love the song, just not quite as much as some of the others. You've never seen the likes of me before. I've been in this realm for many years. Now I am here to show a whole lot more of the family you have left in tears.
Amazing. All right. Okay. We'll get the other new one. This Christmas. This is high energy. The very tempos help make this one stand out. However, I haven't fallen in love with this one as I did the others and the other new track. It's a tad more formulaic, but it does scream about the quality of the album, that this formulaic track is still really fucking good. It's just the bar so high. That's what it is. Yeah,
we're quite similar on these new ones. I didn't instantly fall in love with it, and while it has grown on me a bit, it still hasn't fallen into the I love it category yet. I find the structure of the verses a bit more challenging to listen to. You know, it's not as in challenging as in like, oh my god, this is technical and progressive, as in just it doesn't quite flow as well as the album does or any other part of the album. I do like the pre-chorus on it a bit, but I think the chorus is flat, and that's probably the one thing that I would never say on any other song on this whole album. I think the chorus lacks a little bit, so it's not bad. It's not a bad song by any means. Some of the vocal ranges again are insane. I've ended with saying, look, just fingers crossed, it just needs a little bit more growing time, I hope.
Possibly, yeah. Because, you know, the rest of these tracks, the two new ones, I've probably listened to maybe close to 10 times, whereas the other ones I've probably hit triple figures now, over 100 at least over the last release.
It's one of the most complicated things I found, like as being a stupid human coming back to this album, is that there are so many good songs in this album that I was kind of all right with them just re-releasing it and not putting anything new on it. And I still probably would have been listening. I would have been listening to it even if they didn't re-release it this year. So the problem sometimes is that, like, I guess maybe I'm not giving the new songs a chance because I'm quite happy to just press skip and get back to the songs I already know I love.
And if you're not skipping, you're kind of waiting in anticipation for what comes next because you know it's a banger of a tune, that kind of thing.
That's what I mean. I've got like I drive my car to work. It takes me about 16 minutes if there's no traffic on there. I've got 3 tracks I can get in with that. So I can listen to this one, or I can play like the 3 Ghost songs. And do you know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, there's nothing on this album that's bad, and even this song, even though I don't love it, it's not bad. You know, so it's just I think it will come in time.
Yeah, there you go. All right, the penultimate track, it is Ghost of Christmas to Come. Kill the Beast was an interesting song to use here, but man, this is a banger. The twisted voices of the characters, Scrooge's desperation to not have what he sees and hears come to pass. It's great storytelling. It's a track like this that makes me, this is the track that I think is what made me desperate think, oh, when we talked last year about this would be amazing with a full stage production, like a retelling of the story with these songs. It's tracks like this that nail that for me.
Yeah, and I mean, all of the songs in this album are great, but basically any song that starts with the word ghost is just like fucking phenomenal. And this is another banger. Like I find the kind of weird patterns to the vocal at the beginning with the different voices and the Beauty and the Beast sort of theme, kind of like Tim Burton-esque. I kind of feel like sort of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, it's different.
Styled, kind of bouncy back and forth. Sounds cartoony to me when I listen to it, but I love it, like in a good way, because it's just interesting. And again, it's different, but it still very much fits in the album, but it's very different to anything that was done up until this point. You know, which is I guess shows the range of creativity and ideas they had going. You know, when they were writing this album. Mix of vocals, the drums, everything's great, and then like there isn't an awful lot that happens like actually musically at the beginning of it, but it just sets this nice like kind of level to let the guitars and vocals shine, you know, and everything else, the bass and drums are just doing their thing in the background, almost sometimes unrecognized on the album because the vocals are so powerful, the structures on the album are so clever, and the guitar solos are so fucking great that sometimes you kind of forget like there's all these other bits happening in the background. I love the choir chorus again, the instrumental, which kind of brings the traditional melodies like the hymns and stuff back in, lots of bells, orchestral elements, and like darker speed up at the end. It's a tremendous song.
It is a tremendous song. Agreed, 100%. Should note, Brendan, I didn't say it. I said Kill the Beast, but Brendan pointed it out. If you're wondering what that melody is from, it is the song Kill the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, the Disney film. Finally, we end with A Christmas Has Come, and what a fucking ending this is. The end of the story, the upbeat nature, the sing-along quality, the massive ending, the melody that plays and grows. This is such a happy song that nails the changing of Scrooge in the story. Tell me that you don't want to sing Merry Christmas to all and a Happy New Year as high as possible when it hits here. This is a phenomenal ending. Just brilliant way to close out the album.
Yeah, agreed. Perfect ending to an album that just deserves so much applause. All the elements that you kind of seen so far, to be honest, it finishes the story off well. It tells the story well. It feels, I don't know if it's stupid because it's a story, but it feels like genuine. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you actually like kind of almost buy into the fact that this is a repentant Scrooge singing to you. You know, you forget that you're listening to musicians pretending to be characters. And you're almost on board, man. Like I choke up at some of these songs. I'm like, oh, Scrooge has changed. You know, I'm all in, man. And yeah, it's beautiful. The guitars are on fire, vocals are just insane. Loads of gang vocal sections again. The solo's brilliant. And then the kind of nice, gentle orchestral music that slowly fades out, ending with that little spoken line, which basically ends with wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, but spoken instead. And it's just like end of the album. And it's just like, bam, that's brilliant.
Now, do you agree then with me, this thing here, right? In that the change up in this album is obviously normally we would then go to the instrumental reprise of many of the melodies from it. I actually think the removal of that and it ending as it does here is better because it has a bombastic finish that feels like, yeah, that's it done. We don't need another 4 minutes of the same music.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It's the right place to end the album. But like, I guess I always saw this as the end of the album anyway, and the bit that came after was just like a little bonus.
Credits, almost like the credits are rolling.
Yeah. I was all right with that being there for that reason, and I still wouldn't have minded if it was here now.
Yep.
You know, this was the end of the album proper, the end of the story, and yeah, like you said, the credits are rolling, and it's just music to play it out. So,
yeah, That's it. There is the album, right? This is going to be fascinating then, because trying to pick 3 tracks out of these 9. All right, I'll go first then. I have chosen Ghost of Christmas Past, Ghost of Christmas Present, and A Christmas Has Come. So not the full one.
Oh, I thought we was I was wondering if we were going to all just do songs that started with the word ghost, but you didn't.
It would have been 4th. Ghost of Christmas to Come would have been 4th.
But for me, I have Ghost of Christmas to Come, Ghost of Christmas Past, and Ghost of Marley as my 3. And then my 4th would have been Ghost of Christmas Present. So I would have done all 4 ghosts if we were doing top 4.
Oh, right. Okay. So we are different in that, but it is just such minor details. It's small things.
Yeah.
It really is.
I genuinely feel like if I listen to this album again tomorrow, which I probably will be, that I might suddenly switch one and be like, do you know what? No, I want to listen to A Christmas Has Come over and over again for a while. It's that sort of thing. I mean, every song on this album is fantastic. The new songs are great. One of them needs a bit more growing time, but it's a great example of a fantastic album. It's not about songs as such. It's just a fantastic album, and it's best listened to in its entirety, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like if you're a new listener and you've never listened to it, I wouldn't recommend coming in and just listening to the songs that we see our favorite. I would put the album on, don't press shuffle, press play, and sit back and enjoy the ride.
And I think you'll be blown away about it. People need to hear about it more. That's Majestica's A Christmas Carol extended version. Hopefully come 2022 next year, they will have a 3rd and even more extended version to talk about.
Yep.
But for now, let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?